Hello, this is Sean for TypePoker.com, and this is the start of our series for Cash Game Poker. What I'm going to do is just basically play the absolute lowest limits and work my way up to the top. Normally I play 100 and 200 no limit on PokerStars, and for now I am playing 2-cent poker on Ultimate Bet. It's not a site and a limit I normally pay for and play at, but we're going to just explore the possibilities of you're a cash game player, maybe someone gave you $10 and you want to work your way up to the top and what you're supposed to do. So it'll be a learning experience for both of us, but I hope you enjoy this series and I can talk about certain concepts that hopefully can increase your game and what you're able to do at the cash game tables, as well as I can kind of see what people do at these very low micro stakes. I started a previous video and didn't turn out too well. I had turned a nut flush and got it in, and the villain had basically rivered a full house. And that's not the reason why I didn't show it, but a couple of technical difficulties resulted in me not having recorded the audio. So that's just me suffering a bad beat video, which no one wants to really enjoy. So I'll talk about the HUD stats. I'll talk about certain gameplay theory. It's going to be very tenuous because you're not seeing rational thinking people at this level. You're just seeing people with cards in front of them and betting wildly and just trying to, I guess, enjoy their poker experience. But I've known people that started out at this level. They won $10 or $15 in a free roll, and they started their bankroll there, and they're playing 100 no limit and 200 limit with me and making very good money, much better than I am, because they work their way all the way up from these stakes. So we hope you enjoy this series, and we hope to convey some excellent basic beginner poker theory here. Nothing too complicated, and we'll just go from there. I've got two tables. You're just seeing one, and if I get into an interesting hand, I'll move one and go to the other. I'm not a big fan of the Ultimate Bet software. It seems clunky, and when I was tiling it one on top of the other, it didn't seem to handle it too well, and I was folding out hands that I didn't intend to. Maybe it's just me not being used to the software, but I guess I'm just not a fan, having played a Full Tilt and PokerStars. That's just my opinion. So I'll pause things, and as we get into hands, we'll take a look. Alright, so we've got 10s on the button here, and we see someone limp in. And the standard raise is 3 times the big blind, or 4 times the big blind, depending. But I'm just going to keep it 3, and then we're going to add a big blind because of the limper. So we're going to go to 6 cents, add 1 for this guy, and we're raising to 8. And we take it down. But that should be your standard play when you see someone limp or raise. Just make it 3 times the big blind plus 1 for every limper. And when I played 25 no limit and 50 no limit, I was making it 4 times the big blind plus 1 for every limper. So it's up to you and whatever is normal for your site kind of thing. But that's generally what's going on. So I'm just going to make this 6. And I think a lot of people at this level tend to just call and hopefully hit something and then bet. And so this guy bets into me. This is called a donk bet, when you bet into someone that raised and you just called, and it's just a bad play. So we're just going to go ahead and bet our normal C bet amount, which is a continuation bet, which is 16 cents. And we get flat called, and we're just going to keep betting. The pot's 51, and we're going to make it roughly 3/4. I mean, ideally he's not sitting on a king or an ace on a draw. We really don't want to see another club come. But we just go ahead and take it down now, and that's fine. And with the rags, we're just folding out, and we're going to wait for our next hand. Alright, here we are. I had to move to a new table because the last one broke, and so with the suited connectors, I'm going to go ahead and raise up. And once we get 15, 20 hands into this and there's some actual numbers, I'll talk about what these HUD stats mean and how you can use them. This isn't a great board to be c-betting. I'm going to go ahead and c-bet anyway, which means a continuation bet. Basically, I'm following up my bet from the pre-flop and took it down. So, easy. So we're at a different table, because I have two tables up, ideally to see some hands to record the video with. Now, I'm using a HUD, and that's what is giving me these numbers. Now, if I'm playing two tables at 2-cent poker, do I need a HUD? No, of course not. If I'm only playing two tables, even at 200 or 400 no limit, I don't need a HUD. You need a HUD. You can use it, and it can be a benefit to you even if you play one table. You don't need it because you can make observations, and the HUD doesn't really tell you something that you don't already know. It keeps track of things for you so that you can massively multi-table. I play 9 tables at the same time. I don't think I could do it without the HUD. Basically, it helps remind me what kind of players are at the table. It's totally legal. It's okay by the, like Ultimate Bet, Absolute Poker, Poker Stars, Full Tilt. They're all okay. They're all on board, so I'm not cheating here. And if you're going to be taking cash game poker seriously, you need to be doing this too. The numbers that you see here, and we'll take this guy right here. The first 3 numbers are the basic primary stats. The 20 here represents voluntarily put money into the pot. And his 20% means that 20% of the time he's voluntarily coming in, he's making a call. So that's how often he plays. That can basically tell us and gauge for us how many, what's his range of hands. And for this guy, well, now it's 19, so it's the top 19% of all hands is roughly what he's going to be playing. The second number, which is a big fat 0 on his end, is the amount of times that he's raising pre-flop. So this guy's raising 0. Now, it's only 16 hands, and that's a very, very small range. We're not making any assumptions off this. If it was 160 hands, we could. But, 0 is... You should be raising pre-flop. It's okay to raise pre-flop, especially when you've got some good cards. The next number next to that, where for this guy it's 0.4, is the aggression factor. And anything below 2, and you're generally looking at a passive player. Anything 2 to 3, pretty aggressive. 3 to 4, aggressive. Anything 5 and above, you're looking at very aggressive. H in this 16 is obviously hands, and that's how many hands I have on him. 3B is 3-bet. And that's when someone makes a re-raise. So the rest of the stats we're not going to get into until they come up or a subsequent video. Again, this is the first baseline video. You've never played cash game poker. You're not sure what you're doing. And the idea that we're going to be giving you is that you're going to be playing tight poker, premium cards. You're only coming in with the best hands. You're raising pre-flop. And only certain hands in certain situations, like this one right here, you're going to be limping in. When you have King 9, it's not a great hand. You shouldn't be raising with this, especially in the small blind position. But it's a really, really neat hand to be limping in with from this position, and hopefully either catching a king or a flush draw or something to that effect. Otherwise, you're just done with the hand. You got the discount to come in, and now you can just give up since the ace flop, and you've got nothing else going on. But getting back to my original point, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be coming in for a raise. You're going to be aggressive, and you're going to be playing those premium cards. The aces, kings, queens, jacks from, the last positions. You don't want to be playing from early position when you're starting out. You're going to get yourself in a lot of trouble, especially with hands like ace-10 or queen-jack. These are hands that you're folding unless you're in the last position and you have no action to you. So King 10 is something that if I was in this area, I'd be folding. And in this area, for this video, I'm going to let it go. And that's not to say, to be honest with you, I'm not going to be like, you should always fold King 10. If this was at 100 no limit, at my normal tables, I'm raising there and I'm isolating against the guy that limped in. You could punish those limpers. And yes, that is a cliche that's overused in online poker, but it's definitely something that you should be doing because it's extremely profitable. When someone's not showing any strength pre-flop, you can just dominate them. And I'm telling you, I've seen it so many times where the limper will call, they'll miss the flop, you'll give a c-bet, and then they'll give up and go away. And it's a great way to just sustain your win rate and help you through the tough times and pat on to the good times. But that's some really basic poker theory there.